Good Thursday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it over the hump, and we're in the home stretch toward the weekend. But of course, you have your news headlines coming up on this Thursday. We have a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you've been part of my conversation with gift-giving expert Lindsay Roberts. You don't want to miss that. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Thursday headlines and international news. U.S. sending $1 billion more military aid to outgun Ukraine. The U.S. announced it will send an additional $1 billion in military aid to Ukraine as America and its allies provide longer-range weapons they say can make a difference in a fight where Ukrainian forces are outnumbered and outgunned by the Russian invaders. President Joe Biden and his top national security leaders said on Wednesday the U.S. is moving as fast as possible to get critical weapons to the fight, even as Ukrainian officials protest they need more, faster, in order to survive. The latest package, the U.S. said, includes anti-ship missile launchers and more rounds for the high-mobility artillery rocket systems the U.S. forces are training Ukrainian troops on now. All are key weapon systems the Ukrainian leaders have urgently requested as a battle to stall Russia's slow but steady march to conquer the eastern Donbas region. The aid is the largest single tranche of weapons and equipment since the war began. Biden, who spoke by phone with the Ukrainian president for about 40 minutes on Wednesday, also said the U.S. will send $225 million more in humanitarian assistance to provide safe drinking water, medical supplies, food, health care, shelter, and money for families to buy essential items. The U.S. remains committed, Biden said in a statement, to supporting the Ukrainian people whose lives have been ripped apart by this war. Overall, since the war began in late February, the U.S. has committed about $5.6 billion in security assistance to Ukraine, including this latest package. Officials said that about one-third of the latest $1 billion will be from Presidential Drawdown Authority, which means the Pentagon will take weapons and equipment from its own stock and ship them to Ukraine. The remaining two-thirds will be equipment and weapons purchased from industry by the U.S. and then transferred to Ukraine. In national news, Fed attacks inflation with its largest rate hike since 1994. The Federal Reserve intensified its fight against high inflation on Wednesday, raising its key interest rate by 0.75 of a point, the largest bump since 1994, and signaling that more rate hikes ahead as it tries to cool off the U.S. economy without causing a recession. The unusually large rate hike came after data released last Friday showed U.S. inflation rose last month to a four-decade high of 8.6%, a surprise jump that made financial markets uneasy about how the Fed would respond. The Fed's benchmark short-term rate, which affects many consumer and business loans, will now be pegged to a range of 1.5% to 1.75%, and Fed policymakers forecast a doubling of that range by year's end. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell said it was imperative to go bigger than the half-point increase the Fed had earlier signaled because inflation was running hotter than anticipated, causing particular hardship on low-income Americans. Another concern is that the public is increasingly expecting higher inflation in the future, which can become a self-fulfilling prophecy by accelerating spending among consumers seeking to avoid rising prices for certain goods. The central bank revised its policy statement to acknowledge that its efforts to quell inflation won't be painless, removing previous language that it said Fed officials expected the labor market to remain strong. It's going to be a far bumpier ride to get inflation down than what they had previously anticipated, said a chief economist at Deutsche Bank. In more national news, FDA advisors move COVID-19 shots closer for kids under 5. COVID-19 shots for U.S. infants, toddlers, and preschoolers moved a step closer on Wednesday. The Food and Drug Administration's vaccine advisors gave a thumbs up to vaccines from Moderna and Pfizer for the littlest kids. The outside experts voted unanimously that the benefits of the shots outweighed any risk for children under 5, that's roughly 18 million youngsters. They are the last age group in the U.S. without access to COVID-19 vaccines, and many parents have been anxious to protect their little children. If all the regulatory steps are cleared, shots will be available next week. And finally, in business news, Wall Street rallies in relief after Fed's assurance on rates. Wall Street rallied Wednesday following the Federal Reserve's sharpest hike to interest rates since 1994 and its later assurance that such mega heights would not be common. The S&P 500 climbed 54 points, or 1.5%, to close at 3,790 after whipping through roller coaster trading immediately following the Fed's latest move to fight inflation. The Dow Jones Industrial Average swung between a gain of 647 points and a loss of nearly 180 before finishing with a gain of 304. It closed at 30,669. The Nasdaq Composite jumped 271 points, or 2.5%, to 11,099. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to today's edition of Words I Choose to Live By. Here you go. You made it over the hump to another day. Now, what are you going to do with this opportunity? You never know what you can accomplish until you try, so make today about using faith to push past your fears. If you put forth the effort, you will see that you are more than capable of handling anything that comes your way. Have an amazing Thursday. We are part of my conversation coming up with gift-giving expert Lindsay Roberts in today's Entertainment Spotlight. Stay with us. You're listening to Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Gift-giving expert Lindsay Roberts joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about how you can make gift-giving a little bit easier. Here's a bit of our conversation.
Why is choosing a gift so difficult?
You know what? A lot of people have trouble, especially with dads and grads. So dads a lot of times tend to have it all or say there's nothing that they want. Grads tend to have nothing, or you really don't know exactly what they need. And so when you're kind of stuck in this gifting issue, what we recommend is to really think about that person's interests, their hobbies, their likes, and then from there, anything that you choose is sure to show at least that you've really thought of them. So that's our best tip on finding that perfect gift for someone who it's a little tricky to find something for.
And I have to give a quick plug to the giftinsider.com. When I was prepping for this segment, Lindsay, what I love is that you're kind of able to have those categories of what the occasion is, how much you want to spend. So that definitely helps out a lot. Do you have any unique gift ideas you want to share with our audience today?
Yes, so smart home gifts are huge for dads and grad season, and we have a gift that is sure to shine. It's whiz connected, and they're smart lighting. They have a really simple solution, affordable for dads and grads really looking to elevate their spaces, and it's easy smart lighting. So really everyone can enjoy their daily moments with more comfort and ease. The lights are powered through Wi-Fi and controllable via the Whiz smartphone app or hands-free with control. And the lights provide flexibility with adjustable white or color tones to really enhance any room. There's more info on that on whizconnected.com.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning into this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll be back on tomorrow to wrap up this week. Until then, your host Cyrus Webb saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make today amazing. Take care.